Yeah. All right, so long division. Okay, we're doing long division, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Cell phones need to be gone. Bye-bye, cell phone. Make sure you have this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a structure, and then you're going to, I think this structure will help you. Okay, so do not write down what I'm about to write down because I'm going to erase it. But the traditional way of doing this is to write this down. Okay, and that's the same method you would do if you did like 32 divided by 7,256. Okay? Do you remember how to do that? I don't care. Doesn't matter because we're not going to do it that way. But traditionally, that's the way people would do this. So I'm going to show you a slightly different method that gets us the same answer that I think is a little bit easier. Okay? So we're going to write up here what we're dividing by. What are we dividing by? What are we dividing by? X plus 3. So I want you to write divide by x plus 3. Now here's the thing about division. We're going to figure out what to divide by, times it, and then take it away from our thing. Okay? The opposite of dividing is times. So if you say, I'm going to divide by this, then I'm going to times it by that thing and pull it out of it. And that'll make more sense here in a second. So I'm going to say I'm going to divide by that, but then I'm going to immediately times by that. Okay? And then the that. What is the that? Well, what are we dividing? We're dividing by x plus 3. What are we dividing? What are we trying to? Yeah. So we're trying to get rid of this x squared minus 13x minus 48. Okay? Now, little brothers, when you go to the movie and your mom says you got to take your little brother, you don't care about him, right? You just tell him if you're not in the back seat when the car leaves, you're not going, right? And when we get to the movie theater, when I walk to the door may shut right in front of your face. You're going to have to open the door, okay? And when I go and buy a ticket, that's the only time I go, all right, yeah, and one for him, okay? So my point is, all we care about is the first thing. So when we do this divide, we don't care about that plus 3. So cross that out for me. All we care about is the first thing there. Okay? So now, what we do is we look at this, and we want to look at just the first thing here. First thing here is x squared, and we want to divide by x. What's x squared divided by x? X. So that's what we write here. X. And as soon as we figure out what we're dividing by, we're timesing. X times x plus 3. So I'm going to distribute this in. X times x. X times 3. 3x. Now I did that because now I'm going to take this away from what I started with. What's take away mean? Minus. So instead of this, I want to go ahead and hit minus, say minus. So I'm just going to put a negative sign there. It's weird, and you probably won't do this, but in some ways, I wish you had a second color so you could write the minus sign in a second color, because sometimes you go, did I put it down? You'll forget. Okay? But we're taking that away. What do you notice happens here? X squared and minus x squared. So it cancels out. And that's the whole point here, is that that's gone. I write a really, really small 0 to say nothing's there. Negative 13 and a negative 16x minus 48. Bring down the next thing. Okay? Start over. Start over. What do you think start over means? Nope. We never care about our little brother. He's a turd. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. What? Yeah? No. No. Divide by x again. Someone tell me what to write down. Yes, so now it's always about the first thing. Negative 16x divided by x is negative 16. So we write down here, negative 16x divided by x, negative 16. And then as soon as we figure out what we're dividing by, we do what? We times it again, okay? I want to point out to you that this column is always going to say x plus 3, right? No matter how many times I do this. So then I distribute that in. Negative 16 times x, negative 16x. Negative 16 times 3. Someone with a calculator? Negative 48. Okay. And then remember that we're doing this to see what we're going to pull out. So I need to do what? I'm subtracting. Okay. And really, the way I like to think about subtracting is basically change the signs. Okay. So some people will say, well, you're already subtracting. Well, no, I'm going to just change my signs here. Negative 16 and a positive 16x. Zero, thank you. Negative 48 and positive 48, 0. Okay. Now this whole mess, the answer is now sitting on the board. Anybody have a guess of where it is? Say again. Okay. It's close. Anyone else want to guess where the answer is? Nope. 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 What were we trying to do? What was the operation? X what? No. What were we trying to do? Divide. So where is the divide answer? Say again. Close. Very close. Closer. Nope. We're trying to divide. Our answer is sitting right here in the divide column. So the answer is x minus 16. Let's do another one. Okay. So I get 3 more to make sure you understand. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. So the structure is divide times what? Okay. So we're going to divide by what? Okay. And some of you will pick up on this, that I say x and then x plus 5. We'll talk about that in a second. Times, as soon as I figure out what to divide by, I want to times it to see what to take away. So I write x plus 5 again. And divide and times what? Okay. Anybody have questions on how to set that up? Clearish? And then I tell you, well, all I care about when I'm really dividing is what? X. So I'm going to cut away that, or throw away that 5. And eventually, when you look at this, you probably won't even write the 5, right? But for now, I'm saying I don't want people to go, where'd that 5 go? It's always about the first thing. So x squared divide by x. X, okay? And then times. X times x, x squared. X times 5, 5x. I did this. I times to see what I'm taking away. So switch the signs. It's almost like when I draw this line here, I should probably just switch the signs at that point. Thank you. 5x, we said. Okay. X squared minus x squared. Gone, right? We write a real little small 0. Negative 2x, negative 5x. Say again? No? A negative 2 and a negative 5. Negative 7. Bring down the next thing. Okay? Why do I need a second thing? For who? But for who? In my analogy. Why do I need that? For my little brother. Okay? You always need one for yourself and one for your little brother. Okay? It gets really annoying when you find a date and your mom says you got to find a date for your little brother too. Then you just, whatever's sitting there, you just grab. Okay. All right. Negative 7x. Divide by x. Negative 7. We're just starting over. Negative 7. What do? I times it by x plus 5. Negative 7x minus 35. As soon as I draw that line, I should be switching my signs. Okay, good. And this cancels out perfectly. Anyone ever seen this in math, where you do a double line? No? No one? Mr. Hermits? Double line? Mr. Castle? No? Double line means, what do you think it means? Nothing is left over. It's a shortcut to writing, instead of writing 0, 0. I don't know. Doesn't matter. 0, 0 is just as good. Okay? What's the answer? Okay, now we see it, right? Now that I told you, goodness gracious, why didn't I just tell you in the first place? Getting easier? Okay. We got another one? Okay, someone tell me how to set this up. What do I write? See if you can do the setup on your paper without looking up here. Did I do it right? Did you do it right? All right, so what do I'm going to cross out my little brother on the divide because at that point I don't care. Okay? What do I have first in my divide column? Not cubed. X squared. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Okay? So again, it's about the first things. This and that, give me that. And then as soon as I figure out what I'm dividing by, I'm going to times to figure out what to get rid of. So I'm going to times that by x minus 1. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times negative 1, negative x squared. I did that to see what I'm taking away. Take away means switch the signs. So as soon as I draw my line here, I'd kind of like to just switch my signs. You know that you did it right if x, the first thing, just takes care of it, right? X to the third minus x to the third is elimination, 0. 5x squared and an x squared. 6x squared. Depending on who teaches it, some people say now bring down everything else. I just say bring down something for who? Your little brother. So I just bring this down for the little brother, and that negative 1 is going to hang out, and I'm going to bring that down in a minute. Okay? Then we start over. (6x squared divided by x again). Okay? So 6x squared divided by x is 6x. And then as soon as I do that, I'm going to times it by what I'm dividing by just to see what I'm taking away. So I get 6x squared. 6x times -1 is -6x. As soon as I draw my line, I switch the signs because I'm saying I'm timesing by this to see what I take away. 6x squared minus 6x squared is elimination, 0. 3x plus 6x is 3x. Bring down the next thing for my little brother. Start over. It's always about the first thing, and we're always dividing by x in this problem. 3x divided by x. 3. So as soon as I divide, I say, okay, what am I timesing by? So take that away. I get 3x minus 3. Switch the signs. We get 0 and 2. Bring down something for your little brother. You say, there's nothing left to bring down. Okay. What is that 2? Yeah. Please. The 3 on the left. This here. So if I back up, I had this. I'm always looking at just the first thing, dividing by x. So 3x divided by x is 3. Okay? And then I'm setting myself up to have this perfectly go away. The 2 is the remainder. Okay? So I'm going to write down the answer, and you tell me what it says. So we know that this column over here is the answer. Okay. X squared plus 6x plus 3, that's that left divide side. And then I drew a capital R, which means what? Remainder of 2. So that means this one does not divide out perfectly. It has a remainder. Okay? And we just go with that. Number 4. Let's race. Okay? Our marks get go. We're racing. I'm giving you I'm talking to give you a head start, and then I'm going to go up there and I'm going to annihilate you. And how my fast genius. Yeah, after I'm done. You think you can beat me? Huh? You think you can beat me? Morning. You okay? X to the third, 6x. Shoo-be-doo. Are you trying to beat me, or are you just talking? Bad kids. Why is that hard for me? It's 8. 4, yeah. You beat me? You're so smart. Who said I'm done? Am I right? We got a different remainder. Did I get that right? Anybody? Just copying.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we understand this? Which part is confusing? Personally, I think the part that people are going to be confused about at this point is how to get these over here. Do you know how to get those? Where those are coming? Right, it's the first thing divided by this. Okay? If someone were to say, I don't know how you're getting those, that would not surprise me. But, okay, go ahead and turn the page when you get those notes down. And let's try to knock out this. I'm going to point something out to you. This isn't usual, but at the bottom of the page is what? The answers. Okay? So that does not go into Desmos, but they're sitting there so that you can check. Okay? The second paper goes into Desmos. So the reason why we gave you 2 of these is because we feel like you need lots of practice of this. Okay? So check as you do. Check the answer. If you get an answer wrong, raise your hand, and we'd love to help you. Okay? Any questions? I'll put this back up here in a second. I'm going to stop this video.